Good morning, I'm the Reverend Stephen Page for St. Patrick's Anglican Church. This month our devotionals are inspired by notable moments in the world of sports. I've been watching a lot of baseball this summer. It's my favorite sport, and once I discovered that for a small fee I could watch games live over the internet, well, it's a little taste of heaven right here in Hudson Bay. But I've noticed that there seems to be a rash of lost bats this year. A player swings and the bat slips from his hands and sails away, sometimes down the line, sometimes into the field, sometimes, much more dangerously, into the crowd. For example, Edwin Encarnacion, the Blue Jays' designated hitter, he has a two-handed swing, and he keeps both hands on the bat for as much of his follow-through as possible. But recently, he let go too soon with his right hand, and the bat slipped out of his left hand and sailed into the first row of fans at Rogers Center. Fortunately, no one was hurt by the flying lumber. Another game I was watching, another time Texas Rangers all-star outfielder Josh Hamilton. He lost his bat, and it too sailed into the crowd. Now, Josh Hamilton, he's a nice guy. He's also a very outspoken fellow about his Christian faith. He regularly and publicly thanks God for helping him through an addiction to alcohol and cocaine that almost ruined his career and his marriage and his life. And his honesty and his superb play make him very popular. So when his bat landed a few rows deep in the crowd, it was kind of amusing to see people pass it around and take turns having their photo taken with the bat of Josh Hamilton. Now that lost bat incident was funny, and Hamilton was a bit sheepish at having let it slip out of his grip like that. One game that I saw that was not quite so funny, an awful case of a lost grip, was in a Washington Nationals game. The hitter, who shall remain nameless, took the first pitch. It was right on the outside edge of the plate, and the umpire called, "Strike one!" The hitter gave the ump a dirty look, but he dug in for the next pitch. And the wind-up, and the pitch, and it was a little farther outside. It looked to me on the telecast like it was a ball, but the ump called it strike two. Well, the batter, he turned and he jawed a bit at the ump, and he made a gesture, and I thought he was going to be ejected from the game, but he calmed down enough to step back into the batter's box and get ready for the next pitch. But with the count no balls and two strikes, and no longer trusting the ump, well, he swung wildly at a pitch that was nowhere near the strike zone. And mid-swing, he let go of his bat, and it sailed up, over foul territory, over the whole first section of the stands, through a door, and finally clattered to a stop out on the concourse of the stadium. Meanwhile, the hitter stalked off to the dugout after striking out. He glared at the ump, but he did not look around for his bat. He seemed like he had stopped caring in his anger at the ump. Losing your grip on a bat, it's not a new problem, and a solution exists. Players have used a substance called pine tar for decades. It makes the handle of the bats a little more sticky, so they can get a better grip. The bat is less likely to fly out of their hands in a hard swing, and in fact they can therefore relax their grip a little, which in turn gives them even more power when they do connect with the ball. Pro hitters use pine tar to keep from losing their grip on the bat. But that Washington Nationals batter, he lost his grip on more than just his bat. He lost his grip on his emotions and his passions, and they took over. And he stopped caring about others. He was so consumed by his anger at the umpire. Self-control is one of the marks of growing Christian maturity. As we do spiritual disciplines like prayer and Bible reading and weekly worship and more, as we do all of these things, our faith grows stronger. It's like pine tar for our lives. A stronger faith leads to practical changes in our lives. It makes us more able to have self-control over our emotions and passions and actions, to catch those hurtful words before we speak them, or to give more of our time or money or talents to God's mission or to others in need around us. Galatians 5 verse 23 calls self-control one of the fruits of the Spirit, a sign of our growing faith. 1 Peter and 1 Thessalonians in the New Testament, they describe it as being alert and sober-minded. That's a pretty good description of self-control. May the pine tar of a growing faith help you to keep a grip in the midst of your challenges and prevent your bat from flying into the crowd, so to speak, and potentially hurting others. For St. Patrick's Church, I'm the Reverend Stephen Page.